everyone, Rascal here.
And Mama, welcome to our podcast.
Today we're talking about another underrated superhero film, The Green Hornet.
In this updated version of the original 1960 series, Playboy Britt Reid, played by Seth Rogen, becomes the new publisher of the Los Angeles The Daily Sentinel after the sudden death of his father. Britt's party life is about to change when he and his driver and kung fu expert Kato, played by Chou, stop a robbery. With the help of Kato, Britt starts a new career fighting crime as the masked superhero, the Green Hornet.
Now, the one thing I know most people will remember, if not the TV show, will probably be the crossover with Batman 66, where they weren't playing games with each other. They were serious without their masks, and they're serious with their masks. You're not gonna, it was like more like a rivalry. You're not gonna top me in my city, Green Hornet.
It was really different from that. Now, we've seen the original Batman series and Green Hornet on retro channels that are available. I think it's called On Me TV. And last year, unfortunately, when the actor Van Williams, who originally played Green Hornet, died, they had a marathon. We started watching it, and unfortunately, we really didn't care for that particular show, although Bruce Lee was fantastic. And I still want to give props to Van Williams because he was a trailblazer. He and Adam West and Burt Ward and all the actors who played in these shows were the ones who started the superhero genre being profitable and popular in a different medium rather than in print. So regardless of how we felt about that, still that show is history. And as Rascal mentioned, they had an episode where it was a crossover between the two shows where he and Bruce Wayne had this rivalry, and it was like, oh my gosh. So
like, yeah, you're both the same character, you do know that.
Unfortunately, Batman did not appear in this version of the movie. But this movie was not a critical success. It took $120 million to make, but it grossed over $227 million at the box office, so that means somebody liked it besides us.
Right.
I thought it was a great movie. I thought Seth Rogen did a great job. Chou, he was awesome and amazing. He's lightning fast. He really does put you in the mind of Bruce Lee and skills. And at the time this movie came out, he was a J-pop star in Japan. He was a really famous in Japan. So,
right. And for the people that got to play it, Cameron Diaz was actually one of the characters as well. He also had David Harbour, Edward James Elmos, Tom Wilkinson, lots of pretty big actors.
From Terminator 2.
Right. There are quite a few big people in here. I think part of the reason why it wasn't received well is because it strayed from the original. Because it was updated. He was a playboy, he was a party, he had to learn to get himself together. That I think most people probably would have preferred him as just the original character in the modern day setting rather than update of him.
I'm going to have to kind of disagree with you on this one, which is only one or two times we've disagreed in all of these podcasts. First of all, this original series came out in the 60s. So most people who actually were watching this series in the 60s, parents and grandparents, did not go to the movie to see this movie because the actors that they were used to seeing weren't in it. So all the people who were viewing it like us, my generation, your generation, they had no idea much of anything about the Green Hornet. So we were seeing this movie like there were new characters that we really were not familiar with.
Right.
That's why they cast Seth Rogen, who had been really big in quite a few movies like Pineapple Express and some other movies. And then, as I said, Chou was a star in J-pop star in Japan. So they got people who they knew would get a drawing to the box office. Off the bat, this movie was not made for original viewers of the series.
Right.
It was not going to attract them. As a matter of fact, our Nana, she didn't even want to see it. We had to talk her into seeing it because, again, it wasn't the actors portraying the roles that she was used to. I think it was a great risk that DC took in making it. I really think it was a great stepping out of their comfort zone move. I love the movie. I bought the movie. We've seen it many times.
Yeah.
And I really was hoping for a sequel. And as they mentioned, it wasn't a critical success, but it was well received by other generations who did not originally see this version.
Yeah.
But what I would like to know, if he liked it or not, is Christopher Jones. He's done so much art from the original series that he sells, and it's absolutely beautiful. I really like to know if he liked this version of the Green Hornet.
Right.
Okay.
It would be interesting to see. And like you said, it seems like that's why the movie had a lot of negative reception, because it seems like Seth Rogen, they think, was the worst person to play. And when he was involved not only in making the movie, but screenwriting and the script and stuff, they said he should have never played him. Nothing was funny. They'd rather have an action. They didn't want his comedy. So, like you said, maybe because it was supposed to be a different one, that's probably why it wasn't received well.
Two things. One, I disagree with Seth Rogen. I think he was a great choice. Normally, Seth Rogen has played comedic roles. Seth Rogen also being larger than he was in this movie. He really put his heart and soul into doing this role. He got beefed up, toned. He really did well, I thought, in the acting, in the dichotomy of acting like this playboy who really didn't give a crap, into becoming a superhero who had to learn from his assistant how to be a better person and how to be a better man.
Right.
I thought he did great portraying that.
Right.
Number two, this movie should not have had any comedy like they were expecting. The story itself was not comedic. It was kind of like,
it was like a noir.
It's an odd way to compare it, but it was kind of like a live-action Barnyard. You think about the Barnyard story, remember that the lead character goofed off, and then when his father got killed by the wolves protecting the other animals, he had to learn how to take care of the farm. And to me, it's kind of the same thing, except for, it was done, this movie was done in a more theatrical fashion.
Right.
And there was also a third thing, which I'll remember as you continue to talk.
Right. I also, and I was like back in 2016, that Paramount and Children Entertainment, they have the film rights to Green Hornet, and they're planning to reboot it. So it's been like 3 years now, and so far it's been nothing. So I don't know if they backed out of it, or they just had that to guarantee that no one will bring this movie back. I have no idea. That seems like a Disney move with a lot of their stuff. But yeah, who knows? We might get another Green Hornet movie, but probably most likely won't be a sequel to this. It'll probably just be another updated version. It'll possibly be a mix of the original and an update, so that way it doesn't piss off fans from either side.
Also, the third thing was the special effects were great.
Yes.
The action scenes were fantastic, especially the choreography for the fight scenes. That was all great.
That was great. And I liked when they showed the mansion, all the cool cars. Everything was really top notch, and it was really grand. So you're not just getting like, why don't you see this part of the mansion? Is it just this? Is it just this? It doesn't look like they're just faking out anything. All of it's really well done, and how they designed the vehicle that they used to fight crime was exact, and it was a fantastic vehicle.
Yes. So, unlike the critics, we love this movie. We own this movie, and again, now that we've had this podcast, I want to see it again. The actors were terrific. I thought the writing was good. I did not expect it to be some deep, drawn-out parable or telling of the story, because it's theatrical, and your goal is to get people into the seats to see something that's fun, entertaining, and different.
Right.
I think that they succeeded at doing that with this film. And it came out in 2011, so this is a good time if they're going to reboot it 2019 or 2020 to do so.
It seemed like 2011, 2012 were the years for a lot of stuff to get panned and canceled. If the stuff was good, it got canceled. If it actually was based off of something that was good, it was like, okay, you did it wrong, cancel it, or don't watch the movie. It's like, why do you keep pressing out all these movies and shows? They're all great, and you find one thing wrong with it, and that destroys your enjoyment of it? It's like, that's kind of a bad way of taking it.
But just remember, everyone's entitled to their opinion, and our opinion is we loved it.
Right. And if you have not seen the Green Hornet movie,
we recommend you
do so. Absolutely. Now, it is not, I don't think it's available on Netflix, but you can purchase it on DVD or for Amazon, or you can stream it on Prime or something. It's a really great superhero movie.
Yes. And Bennett, I think you and your dad, if you haven't seen it already, you will absolutely love watching this together.
Yes.
Now, if you have seen it, whenever you did get to see it, I should say, let us know in the comments below what you truly thought about it, if you would like a sequel, and how you think Seth Rogen and Chou did at performing as these classic characters that were given a new twist, because the majority of people that are listening to this podcast did not see the original in the 60s.
Right.
Now, if you also have had a chance to see that on one of the retro channels, let us know what you think in terms of the updating from the movie versus the original.
Right.
How well you thought it was done in the comments below as well.
Right. And tune in tomorrow for our next Everyman Heroes podcast. I'm Ask Entertainment.
And I'm Mom Entertainment.
Have a fantastic day.
Peace.
And reporters sitting flashing lights, trying to walk around, man, who the hell are you? What you wanna do? Well, man, it's on you. Man, it's on you. Met her in my dreams, she was my queen. A castle in the mountaintops, rivers and streams. Plucking sunlight from the sky in my pocket, give it to you later on in the form of a locket.